MBA interviews, the last step before you enter into your dream school. So I'm sure you don't want to mess that up, right? So that's why I made this video for you to understand actually three important aspects of this process. Number one is what they're assessing you or how they're going to judge you, right? Number two is what type of questions they're going to ask you. And number three is the most important is how to prepare for that and how to be yourself during the process. So hi everyone, my name is Rohit Jha and I have a corporate experience of around 14 years. From the last 3 years, I've been running my own firm and we help students and professionals to get into their dream schools across the globe. But the idea of making these videos is to just share my experiences and insights with respect to a lot of programs across the globe and a lot of questions with respect to that we receive from a lot of students. So in this video, I'm going to specifically talk about the whole interview process and the experience and how actually you can easily nail that process and get into your dream school. So let's talk about the first question is, so what exactly they're going to assess? Now, they already have your application, your resume, your work experience, I would say your essays, letter of recommendations, everything they have reviewed, and that's the reason they've sent you a call for the interview. Now, during the interview, they are specifically going to assess you on some of the parameters. So they're going to check you whether you are smart enough to handle uncertain questions or uncertain situations during the interview. Number two is how accomplished you are. How accomplished you are when I say, which means accomplishments in all the areas. It's not about your work, it's about your personal life, it's about your personal accomplishments, maybe your community engagement, maybe your extracurriculars, sports, or anything. So that's what they're going to assess you during the process. How well you present yourself, that how accomplished you are, and how you can contribute to the program. Number three is they're also going to assess you that how aware you are. Now, when I say aware, which means they want to see you that whether you had done the introspection about yourself or not, which means, they're going to ask you specific questions, which I'll talk about in the next section, but just to see your awareness about yourself. Because see, if you don't know yourself, then how will you contribute to the others? Because that's their main criteria. That's what they look for in terms of a good cultural fit for this specific program, right? So that's the third and the most important part. Now moving on to the next is, the last part is how clear you are. They're seeking clarity in terms of your goals about the program, whether you are clear or not. So all these four aspects, they are going to judge you based on these aspects during the interview process. Now, next most important part is what type of questions they will ask you. Now, first of all, I would like to tell you, there's no need to worry about any kind of a political or economic or anything like in terms of general knowledge. They're not going to ask you all these things because it's about your profile, it's about your personality. So they're going to stick to that particular aspect. Now, moving on to the type of questions. Now, number one, which they ask is, I can specifically call it as MBA readiness, or they want to seek clarity that whether you are clear about your life or goals or not, and why you wish to do an MBA. It's a very generic question which you will see in all the interviews, but it's the most important question, that whether you have really thought about your MBA program or not. So that's what they look for in MBA readiness, specifically in that section. Why MBA? Why this school? How you can actually add value to the school, or how this school will add value to your goals, your short-term and long-term goals specifically, and a brief introduction about your previous history and your life and your personality. So these type of questions generally they check for MBA readiness, and they want to seek clarity from you. So that is one specific set of questions. Now, number two, they're going to emphasize on your work experience also. So whatever number of years of experience you have, the kind of experience you're going to bring. So they will ask some specific questions about your work, about your profile, about the impact that you have created at workplace, some specific achievements if you wish to highlight. They also might ask you some situations with respect to your colleagues, about teamwork, about leadership demonstration at workplace, or maybe something about your business vision, the teams you are leading, how you actually know the bigger picture or not, because it's a MBA program, right? So they also want to see your potential as a future business leader. So for that, you need to be very careful while crafting those answers related to your work experience. And now, many a times, most of the people from different backgrounds like technology, consulting, finance, media, so they are very specific to their processes, so they have a very narrow vision, and when it comes to interview also, even explaining their accomplishments, they're very limited to their own specific domain. They actually don't transform that into a business understanding, but you need to take care of that as well. So you need to showcase your achievement, but the impact of that achievement to the process, to your country, to the overall organization. That is what they're looking for, the bigger picture, which I call. So that's the another aspect which, they're going to ask some questions on that. Now, third and the most important is the behavioral aspects or the situational questions. Now, this is again a common set of questions which most of the interviews will have. Now, in this specific section, as I talked about the awareness and clarity, all these things they are gonna see in this specific section. So they would want to see whether you are aware about your strengths, the kind of experiences you have in life, adversities, challenges, critical feedbacks you had received, your areas you need to improve, or your proud moments in life, anything, your commitment to society, your commitment to teamwork, your commitment to culture, the kind of values you hold. All these things will be covered in this specific section, and this is the most important part, I would say, because this actually helps them to understand more as a person rather than as a professional. So they're going to ask you many questions, or many situational or behavioral questions. So be really prepared for such questions. Now, having said that, all the three type of questions which they ask, how to prepare for that, that's the last question and the most important part. Now, how to prepare when you are starting your preparation? If you take my personal recommendation, first of all, don't go and go for some specific set answers on internet which someone else has written. So don't go for those templates or set answers. See, you are unique, and that is what they are looking for. What is unique in your background? They are not looking for some standard answers. So the more unique you will be, the better it is for you. So the best strategy is, first, you just need to list down all your experiences, what you have encountered in your life. So go back, right? From your childhood, start thinking what kind of a person you were, how you have transformed from school to college to the corporate life, and then what has been the changes, what were your difficult times, highs and lows of your career, of your school and college life, your hobbies, your interest which is developed over the years, kind of situations you might have encountered in life, some good, bad, ugly, whatever you had, right? Some rough patches, some proud moment, all these things just pen down on a piece of paper. That is the best strategy, to prepare for these interviews. If you do this, whenever they will ask any question, talk about your story. That is what they're looking for. So they're looking for stories which are genuine, which are impactful, and which are real. So they're looking for such people. So that is the difference which one can create during the interview. The more genuine you are, the more real you are, the chances of getting selected are very high. The more you are into crafting, stories where you are not your real self, it would be hard, because it will be sometime it would be hard to justify those stories. So the best part is, as I said, list down everything and just review your own experiences, apart from, of course, your professional journey as well. What was your career progression, kind of ratings, kind of performances you had, some good parts of your career, list down those as well. So this is just the basic strategy, and I'll tell you, this strategy always works. Rather than going with a list of set of questions and trying to write the answers of all those questions and just presenting it to them, that is not the right strategy. It's always, if you have those experiences, then you will be very confident and you can answer any question, because there is no right or wrong. They're looking for your opinions, they're looking for your expressions, right? So they're looking to know you as an individual. So that's what I will say. You just need to be yourself and present your unique elements to the adcoms, and that is going to work. It has worked for many people, it will work for you as well. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for listening to me. And in any case, if you're stuck, if you need any help, feel free to connect with us and we would be happy to help. Thank you so much. Take care and bye bye.